All right, this is Ryan Corcoran. You guys are watching this because we're trying to get onto the practice SAT. Let me see if I can make my mouse. Oh, nice. So I can have a little spot here. So I'm on the Google Slides that Lindsay shared with us. It talks about on what we should be expecting for February 11th on Friday. On the second page, they talk about a new digital format and how it'll be online for both the ninth graders and 11th graders. And if we click on the link, we can go do a practice test. So they're asking everyone to do this practice test. I'll share this link with you guys in an email with this video, but here is the link for the practice test. At this point, you want to sign in as a guest. Oh, that's eraser, sorry. We're going to go guest session, and we're going to sign in. I'm going to click this green bar here. And it says in the directions here, sign in as a guest, choose your grade, keep the standard settings, and then check the features and new tools. So the first thing we're going to do is sign in as a guest. Go back to my mouse. The next thing, you're going to select a grade. I'm going to do an 11th grade one, like I'm the actual student taking the SATs. And I'm going to start the digital test preview. Now you can change some of the things here, like there's text to speech, there's zoom, you can change how big the font is. So if I make it doubles like level 1, things become larger. I'm going to bring it back to level 0. This might be helpful for students. It could also just be a distraction for students that want to spend their time changing the colors. You could change the background. I have a feeling that if you skipped over this stuff with your students, that'd probably be the best bet, because we're really trying to focus on what's going to be offered here on the what's really going to be offered here on the actual SATs. So we're just going to hit select. Again, for the test settings, it goes on what we have here. Students with accommodations will probably have somebody working with them on the settings. The majority of your students aren't going to be having accommodations. So we're going to click start. And again, the goal of this is not to practice the specific SAT style questions, but to get an idea of what the test is going to look like. So here we have a reference, our calculator. I don't know how notes is going to work, but we're going to try all three of those right now. So when they talk about reference, this is for the math portion. You can move this around. You can make this larger. It goes through what they would have at the beginning of the math section with formulas for area, circumference, volume formulas, information about the number of degrees of an arc in a circle, radians, and the sum of the measures in a triangle, degrees, sorry. And then here, what I think is the most interesting thing they've given people is the calculator. So this is the interface from Desmos calculator. I'm going to include a video on here for Desmos. But what's nice about it is that you can just type in like x plus 3, and it assumes we're talking about a graph. Or you could type in y equals x plus 2. There's an example in here where I think it'll be nice, where students won't have to necessarily solve the systems of equations, but they'll find where the two lines intersect in a much easier fashion. So let's say it was x plus 3 and negative 3x minus 1. These 2 points intersect right here, and it's on the graph. Also, the y-intercept and the x-intercept are given on the graph. You just had to click on the points. And the same thing is true here. I don't know if, you can also zoom in. I'm zooming in with my mouse pad right now, and the students could too. And if the function was a little more complicated, they have this part here for, like square roots, inequalities, and trying to raise something to a power. So if I were you guys, I would skip the reading portion of the test. I don't know, maybe you guys want to work on the English portion, but Our best bet's going to be showing them what the math portion is going to look like. So here's the math test. I'll read the directions about solving each problem. So use of the calculator is only permitted on the math test calculator portion. I'm assuming they won't be able to use it for the actual test. I don't know if someone's checking it, but if I made this, I would make it not able to be used during the non-calculator portion. Again, you get the same information before that you get for the reference. And then for notes, so you can write notes. I'm not sure how that works. It looks like it's just text. So I'm not sure if that's going to be too helpful for students. So you're going to use the next button. Oops, this is the one I was talking about. What I think is interesting is that they have this system of equations, 4x minus y equals 3y plus 7, x plus 8y equals 4. Based on the systems of equations, what is the value of the product xy? So we're trying to find the solution to our systems. What's nice is if we were to use the calculator, we don't even have to write this in standard form. Like if we were trying to use the TI-84s, sorry, I'm moving this all over the place. I'm just trying to make this a little bit smaller so that we can see the problem. So one of the nice things about this is I don't have to type this in standard form or in slope-intercept form. I can just write 4x minus y equals 3y plus 7, which I think is an advantage to our students because they don't have to, if they can conceptually understand systems of equations but are not great at writing this in forms that we want, they can just type this in. They could type in x plus 8y equals 4. I'm going to make this larger. And then looking at the graph, if they knew that the system is where the two lines intersect, we're given an x value and a y value. So we could multiply 2 times 0.2, 25, that came out a little rough. So we would get 1/2 or 0.5. Let me get out of this. For this next one, we're looking at a system of 3 equations and their graphs and the xy plane are shown how many solutions does the system have. So you could use a similar idea talking with your students, how we need to have an intersection with all 3 of these equations. So one solution here and one solution here. You're not going to have this writing feature that I have right here. This is from the Screenify that I have. It might not be a bad idea to snip this and then either using, I don't know, you could use PowerPoint, you could use Jamboard, you could use even the snipping tool to show where this is going to be. But they want us to answer how many solutions there are. So for this next one, a survey was conducted among a randomly chosen sample of chosen sample of U.S. citizens about U.S. voter participation in the November 2012 presidential election. So the table shows a summary. According to the table, for which age group did the greatest percentage of people report that they had voted? So we could go through and try to find the percents of people. And I think they said online that the calculator portion, sorry, let me erase these. So I believe they said on the calculator portion, you should be able to type in like 6. Let's just say we tried to find the percent. Yeah, so you can use this not only to type in functions, but you could also use this for calculations. So let's just look for a second. Let's look at an example we could present to the students. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of trouble with the sizing of this. All right. That'll do for us. Okay, so we're looking at the table, greatest percentage of people that reported that they had voted. So we could do something like 30,329 divided by 63,008. I don't know if I'm actually typing with that. Let me see. Yeah, and then it gives us, it came out a little funky, but it gives us this percentage here, and then you can multiply by 100. So that's going to be nice that the calculator portion not only allows us to graph, but you can also do basic arithmetic in the calculator function too. Again, I think this is going to be something we're going to want to provide for the students and have them work on. And then they can go through and you can talk to your students about how to find this. So don't allow a highlighter for this section. And then so another problem here, if 500 people were selected at random, this one's going through and we can read those together. I'd read them with your students. And I also think this would be a good time too. Like, it's okay if the students are providing wrong answers at this point. You're really just trying to work on the interface of this, how this test is going to go. And then they give a little bit of advice about fractions. Use of calculators only permitted on the math test calculator portion. And then, unless otherwise indicated, the domain of a function is all real numbers. So we got 13 and 14. So this one here, if 1/2 x plus 1/3 y equals 4, and we want 3x plus 2y, we would multiply 1/2 times 6, 1/3 times 6, and 4 times 6. So this would be 24. I don't know if I think this is still part of the calculator portion. And then here, I think we did this problem together. How this becomes 9/5 if you multiply by -1. Let me see if I've got I'm not sure why. So if we multiply everything by -1, this becomes 9/5. The inequality changes. So it'd be like 3t minus 1 is greater than 7/4. And then you can multiply 9/5, 3t minus 1 and 7/4 all by 3. We get 27/5 is less than 9t minus 3 is less than 21/4. So I'm thinking of a number that's between 21/4 and 27/5. So 21 divided by 4 is going to be 5.25, and 27 divided by 5 is going to be 5.4. And hopefully I'm not off on these. So let's do like 5.3. And you could talk to your students. So I just want to put the decimal here and delete 0.3. Hit next. There's an essay portion. I don't know about the essay portion. I don't think I picked this one. Sorry, I'm going to go through these again. And then look at the last part. Oh, so it just indicates an unanswered question. And then we hit end test. I'm not sure it's going to score it. So yeah, anywhere here you see this symbol, it just indicates an unanswered test. I'll just say I'm sure. And yeah, that's it. It's just guessed information. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. I'm about to stop the screen Screenify, and we can go over this 2 more tomorrow about what this is going to look like.